Could be there.
Oh, maybe.
Could this be?
I thought your wife
Could this
was
be
coming.
Jeremy?
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, man.
I thought your wife was
Oh,
coming.
I'm
man.
like, she was coming, but.
On your knees, sir! Megan! I need Megan! I am not worthy!
I'm on the side of the camera saying,
Now
can't
that's
see
the
you.
first, thank you, many years.
We're not gonna make it that hard.
Thank you for coming in tonight.
Oh, yeah,
Good day to you.
All right, love to hear it.
Uh,
Joe, thanks for rearranging this.
Oh.
I appreciate it.
No problem. Well, not a problem for me, I don't know about.
And what do you need to change?
But it works, so it's
waiting
good.
for it. I thought you were joining us.
Yeah.
Because I missed the April deadline for the
I know.
paperwork, and I'm like, and then I got it in for May,
Right.
and then I think on that sheet was the date, and I had spoken to you, and I was like, look at the sheet. I go, I don't know what I was waiting, what I was doing. So you arranged it, and so we were, she's like, okay, dinner's ready. So we're eating in a minute. Because I'm missing this one.
There you go.
Well, she's going to the PTSA to hand out,
Well, not funny.
I think they're doing something on the lockers of the seniors.
Oh, sure.
Because they're
Yeah.
finishing up, so they wanted
Yeah.
one last something for the seniors, yeah, so.
Nice.
What school?
We're here at
Nice.
Trader.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, that's great.
like there's a,
RL.
I went to Bridger.
Causing any?
Oh, I really punched you. Sorry, Will. It's okay. You were closer than I thought.
Okay.
Good, good, good. Yeah.
All right. It is now 7 o'clock on the hour, and I would like to call the planning board meeting, the rescheduled
Sorry.
planning board meeting for the Village of Webster Planning Board for Wednesday, June 19th. Okay, we have one item on the agenda tonight. We will get to Mr. Jeremy, but before we do that, let's take a quick moment to review the meeting minutes from last month, accept those into the record.
I will make that motion. That we approve the minutes of June 6th.
And Peter?
I already read them when I was home, I'm good with that.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, okay. The meeting before, or the application before the board tonight is Mr. Jeremy Burgo would like to build a shed in his backyard. He is seeking a 40 square foot variance from the allowed 100 square foot restriction in the village. Give us a little preview of what you're thinking.
Do I
Normally,
go up there?
you can go there, you can stand up and speak very
I don't
loudly.
I'll come over here, that's fine. I teach 6th grade, so I'm in front of a classroom all day anyway, so people don't.
what are you trying to say, Jeremy, that the board here?
No, that's how I break things down. That's from my understanding. It's pretty simple. I got a cape here in the village. Loved the village, came in 2007. I have the best neighbors anyone could ever want. We specifically chose the village because we knew it was close to everything, and my wife's side's all from here. When we had heard that there was a little restriction on the size, I have a riding mower. I used to have a driveway and asphalt business, which I've sold off, but I have a walk-behind blower, I have a push mower, a rototiller, I have it's taken up an entire bay in my garage. My boys are 16 and 12. Sam is 16, he plays on the varsity football team. I'm also one of the coaches for the 9th grade team for football. And my little guy's in 6th grade, and he is going to play this year. And I bring that up because in my garage we have weightlifting equipment that the boys do over the winter. And throughout
the garage is meant for cars.
Very true. We have. Well, this is what my dad said. You have hundreds of dollars in the garage and thousands of dollars outside the garage. So something's not working out. Something's not working out here. And you know, we would move the equipment to the basement, but in our cape, it's only 7 feet. So some of the equipment that we have in the garage, we kind of need the additional height in the garage. And you know, it'd be just a little bit more convenient if I had enough space in the backyard to be able to fulfill all of the items that I'd like to put back there. The shed will have a bench inside there so that, you know, if I'm working, I kind of got into woodworking a little bit, but, you know, I just think that with the weight equipment, and the wife's car does go in there in the winter, that the additional space would be appreciated. I did not try to go for the biggest thing out there, like 12 by 16. I tried to stay within the limits, of course. I mean, every guy wants a big shed, I would think. I don't know. But, you know, it's, like I said, it's only 4 feet more, and that's kind of what we're looking for. So upon approval of the almighty ones, I would ask for your consideration. Thank you.
All right.
Is this something you're building, or are you buying a?
We went to the home show, and we have a refundable deposit on one. And so it's all pre-made, it's all ready to go. I do have pictures if you
All
want
right,
to see
typically,
it.
people tell us, show us what it's gonna look
Yeah,
like.
absolutely.
So, if you've got something for us to share, to see?
I don't have pictures on there, I have it on my phone. I can maybe put it up on the, in front of the camera if you'd like.
At this point, I mean,
Three of us are.
Absolutely, so,
aesthetics are important.
no problem. So it is sided, it has 2 windows and a 2 windows and a door in the front at 6 foot high, so that I don't have to bang my head on it. It is sided.
Still bang your head.
Yeah, of course, I'm sure. It's sided with gray siding, and it has black shutters. And then on the side, it has barn doors so that I can drive my ride-on right in the side of it. And it does have a roof. It's got a regular shingled roof. And, right, it does have a roof, because an open shed would do nothing.
The main concern is usually that
Of course.
it is aesthetically pleasing.
Sure.
It blends in, it fits in
Absolutely.
with the
In
neighborhood.
fact,
You're
we
not
are.
gonna build some monstrosity, or you're not
No,
gonna put a
no,
monstrosity
no,
there.
so we,
Gonna be
I
out of
can't believe
place.
here we are. So, here is, I can kind of make do for you here.
That's very lovely.
So there's that, and then the side door is, they open up like barn doors on the side, and it's got a
So
loft.
pre-made,
and a workbench.
pre-assembled,
It's all
just
done.
bring it in.
It's all done.
Foundation is,
Okay, so what I'm doing is we recently, actually, last week, I had a stump guy remove a 3-foot stump out of my backyard, and he couldn't get to all of it, but he left about 5 yards of mulch. So I hauled that out to Brockport where my parents live, and there's quite a big crater. He came back today and finished a bunch of the roots, which left another gigantic pile of mulch. If anyone wants mulch, I can deliver free mulch if that's what anybody wants. It's light brown, it's great.
Smells vaguely of bribery to me.
Yeah, well, you know, it's more of a handshake and a favor.
yeah, hey, well,
But
the barter system works wonderful.
perfect. So, yeah, no, what I'm gonna do is, we're gonna fill in the existing hole where the stump was, which is about 1/3 of where the shed is going. What they have come with the shed are the blocks and then some gravel to go underneath. But because my yard is literally the lowest, we're at the second house from the end on Clover. So all of the homes that are in my backyard, I probably have 5 homes in the backyard, which are all signed on the variance. All the water runs in and collects in my yard. Now, we do have 2 town drains, but the drains are higher than my yard. So the water never goes into the drains. And I haven't complained about it, we've just always just dealt with it. It's usually ankle deep until about now, 2nd or 3rd week of June. We've been fortunate this year. What we're gonna do is I'm gonna build a 3-inch frame. I built a deck that Will inspected last fall, and I have leftover 6x6 posts. I'm gonna put those on the corner. It's gonna be a lifted frame, and I'm gonna have 10, almost every foot, footers, and they're gonna roll it right up on top of the footers. And then I'm gonna put the dirt around to lift up, so that the dirt will angle up to the shed. So it'll be very easy mowing, easy looking, easy, you know, so I'm building a frame that's gonna support this shed. So it'll have 10-foot footers and 2 14-foot long length with 6x6 posts.
But you're not sinking foundation piers in the ground?
The 6x6s will go in the ground, but I'm not, I mean, the whole frame will be holding itself together, so I'm just putting the holes in where the stump is, and then just filling it in, so, yeah.
Well, usually the concern is in a big heavy wind or something, can the wind knock this thing over?
I don't believe so, because where the shed is at the back right corner of my yard, and we have many trees all the way around. I have a wall of arborvitaes in the back, and then up the side, my neighbor, of course, has oak and maple trees that don't like to release until the spring, so I'm constantly raking year-round,
Yeah.
which I love my neighbor, so
The
I'm
good
not
stuff.
gonna...
Wow.
Yes, you know, he's a great guy,
In
so...
nature's trees.
Yeah, it's not a
they're
problem, but,
neighbor.
I do intend on, I know one of the conditions of having the shed is to have it anchored down, and so I was gonna do what was suggested in the packet, is to make sure that it's anchored in for that. And it doesn't stand too tall, like I believe, it's a 10x4, it's got a 6 foot, so I wouldn't think it's more than 12 feet high.
Mhm.
And we are completely surrounded with trees in the back. So I don't know if that makes a difference. You guys are more experts on wind and shed heights. Maybe you know maybe more than me. I wouldn't think that that would be a problem, but I would welcome a suggestion.
I mean, generally speaking, I mean, you're buffered by houses, trees in all directions. I mean, it's just if it was in an open field all by itself.
Right, yeah, no, so if you look
Taking
at...
the
if you
full
look
brunt
at-
of the wind, you're
Yep.
gonna,
So if you look at the picture
Right.
that you have, it's in, this would be north.
Yep.
And so it's in the back, would be the southwest corner, so.
and you have no issues with 10-foot setbacks, compliance, you're not asking for.
No, in
variances?
fact, I measured it today after he took out the rest of the stump, and I know that the town says a minimum of 10 by 10. I'm actually going 15 by 15, because I gotta have enough radius to get the rider in the side. Of course, the door, I would prefer the door to be on the other side of the shed, but I didn't think of that when we were looking at it at the convention center. I would have liked it so that I have a whole yard to pull in, but
Mhm.
because it's gonna be on my neighbor's kind of like property line, and he doesn't care, because we mow each other's lawns occasionally, to give myself enough room to get around and inside the double doors. So 10 feet wouldn't be enough for me to do that. So I'm making it
So you're
15 by
changing
15.
this?
Oh,
So
so
it's gonna
you're
be
actually
15.
more than the 10-foot.
Correct, I'm going 15 by 15.
Right, so the
Yeah.
the minimum setback, unless you ask for a variance, is
Right.
10 feet.
No, I'm going 15 by 15.
All right,
Both-
so there's
in
no
both
setback
directions.
problems.
Yeah.
Is it on the footprint of the old shed?
There was no shed ever there,
Oh.
no. No, so that current shed is where I'm gonna put it, that
Yes,
picture.
Excellent.
I will say that there's a wall of arborvitaes that covers, I don't know David's last name, I'm sure you,
Elk.
David Elk lives behind me. And he collects, he's a collector, I'll say.
Oh, you're
Correct.
behind Dave?
Dave's behind me.
All
I was there.
right, Dave's behind you,
Dave-
and then my
and
son
so
is on the other side of
He
Dave.
had concerns that maybe someone had got upset, so he put a fence up, which was fine. We didn't have a problem with it, no problem.
Uh-huh.
But between our wall of arborvitaes and his new fence, someone, I think it was Mr. Hill maybe, because he's the house that we had purchased. Mr. Hill had worked for the school district for many, many years. Someone put concrete, wet concrete, behind the arborvitaes, and so now I have this concrete wall
Oh, good grief.
back there. So now I'm like, I'm gonna dig that out and get it all out of there. So, because what I want to do is behind the shed, build a mini berm to create a water flow or a drain to go from David's yard or the higher yards behind me, around the shed, and then down into one of the town drains. So that's the
Village,
ultimate goal,
village.
or the village, sorry, the village. Why, there's a big thing there, and I was warned. Okay, sorry.
You live in the
So,
village.
yeah. So I have plans for it. It's a lot of work, but I'm hoping. In fact, Beth likes the shed so much that she wants to put the siding on our house to match the shed. So it'll be. It's just because.
So gonna cost you a lot of money.
Wow.
Oh,
A little bit more.
oh,
than
this
I thought,
sounds
but-
fishy. Okay, anything else?
No, I just thank you for your time, and I'm really grateful that you guys are able to come in tonight. I'm sorry I'm really
We
sorry.
do our best to
I
accommodate.
appreciate it, thank you guys.
All right, all right. Questions from the board?
There's not much to expand on what he's already said.
I know, you've done an okay job. Okay, so at this point, I will open it up to the public for violent agreement or disagreement. Is there any commentary from the public? Rick, you're all good? Okay, back to the board. I see you did your due diligence, you let your neighbors know what's going on.
Mhm.
Obviously, no one is here to say this guy is a knucklehead and there is
Right.
no way.
Hmm.
I agree, this is a good thing.
Well, I might be, it just, they're not here to say it.
I went through the short form environmental, I mean, there's nothing here that we need to be concerned about. There's, do I need a motion on none of that? Okay, good. So, if there is no problems, issues, I mean, we recognize 100 square foot sheds in the village were originally, yes, that was the deal,
Right,
you know, but in this day and age, we have stuff.
yeah,
We have toys,
right.
a rider mower, a
Mhm.
rototiller, you know, snow
Snow
blower, and
blower.
boom,
Yeah,
you're done.
right,
So there is movement afoot, I understand, hopefully at some point to
right,
amend
right,
that 100 foot to be a more reasonable number.
sure.
But I do not see any impediments for a positive recommendation, so at this point, I will ask the board for a recommendation, yay or nay, as a recommendation to the zoning board for approval or disapproval for the shed.
All set?
Either, Kevin, or,
In favor,
so you make a positive
Positive
recommendation to the zoning
recommendation.
board
to the
for the
zoning board.
40-foot square foot variance,
As stated, yes.
okay?
I will second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion is unanimous.
Thank you.
Jeremy?
Thank you very much.
Good
Okay.
luck.
Thank you, Jeremy.
The recommendation will be to the zoning board for a positive motion
Okay,
to do your thing.
so that, obviously, that's tomorrow evening.
Yes, that's
So is
tomorrow.
there anything that I need, yeah, is there?
So you get to come back?
Well, I
just
get
need
to
to
come
show
back,
up.
no, that's fine, I don't have a problem with that, but is there any additional information or paperwork that I may need for tomorrow evening, similar to,
Nope,
okay?
you are good to go. As such.
Oh, yeah, just, do you want me to have a physical picture?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can bring
I
that
can
with
print,
you.
I'll print them out, and then they can
Yeah.
see it or whatever.
I'm sure they will ask you for the
Okay.
same dissertation,
Okay.
give them all the details.
Okay.
But
Okay,
really, there should be no problems.
great. Thank you very much.
Okay,
You're all set?
very good.
Now, if I'm doing a pool as well, that just goes through you? Perfect.
Unless you want to move it closer to the lot line than 10 feet.
No, God, no. No, God, no.
All right, well, are there any issues with foundation codes, anything he
Well,
needs to
for a
worry
shed?
about? Just,
No.
Right.
We actually have a more restrictive standard than the state code, because the state code allows up to 144 square feet without getting a permit.
okay,
We require a permit. And one other thing, we'll have just one item on the agenda for next month. What's coming up is the old Burger King building, which is the filling station. They're doing a site plan change where they want to put seating in the front and around the side a little bit.
uh-huh,
So if you're facing it, it'd be in the, in the front and then to the right of it, just a little bit.
okay. All right,
You must be doing good, seems like the parking lot is often pretty full.
Got great food, and they have a little arcade in the back, my kids love.
Oh.
man.
They love going to that mini
I haven't
arcade,
been
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
So, Chris, because we talked earlier about the 10th was not going to work for you in July,
right.
do you have an alternate date? If there's nothing on zoning, which my understanding is as of now there is not, we could do a planning board meeting on Thursday, the 18th. It's the week after the carnival week.
Okay, or I could do, I think, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday after the 4th. Because my son's coming from Denver, so,
Yeah, I think some people were gonna be out of town. Well, last time we mentioned the 10th, but that's not gonna work for you, so,
Thursday and Friday definitely out,
okay.
for sure,
Tuesday?
but the week after is wide open.
Oh, week after. All right,
I wouldn't have notice in the paper for that, because the paper
Oh.
comes out Wednesday.
okay. Oh, I got you.
So the following week, the week of the 15th,
Stick to Thursday?
What are you suggesting, the 18th?
that would be a Thursday, July 18th.
Yeah,
Okay, that's your first choice.
Well,
I could do-
whenever
I
your
could do any
availability
day
is.
that week.
Like Joe was saying,
Except
the
Friday.
18th, normally we would have the zoning board on that night anyways, so if you guys are available. on
Is
the
the zoning board on the 13th that week?
The zoning board doesn't have any applications
they
right
don't have
now,
anything to
so you could have the planning meeting on that same night.
Okay.
Does July 18th work for everyone?
Mhm.
18th is good.
And I can double check with Karen as well.
Yeah, good for me.
Okay, good.
Good, well, at least we know we'll have a quorum.
So 7:18,
Okay.
7
Yep.
o'clock?
7 o'clock. All right.
Okay, and the only person,
Oh, you pointed,
I know.
what the heck, another one? No problem. Yeah, maybe.
and apparently the only person remiss in their training hours is me.
Uh-oh.
I
How
guess.
could that be?
I will get that taken care of, so
Okay.
I'm in compliance, and then we are good to go. All right,
Need a motion to adjourn?
there is no more business before the board. I will accept the motion to adjourn.
Okay. Oh, yes, I make that motion.
I second
She's
that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous? Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
You want to vote for the
Obviously, this wasn't a very controversial.